hello.
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 Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Argent Airways podcast. Joining me today is the usual gang. We have Ella.
Hello, it's your usual singer and sage elf in the Iron Wolf clan.
We have Vivian.
Hello, it's Vivian, your favorite almost mute Forsaken. And if you suddenly understand her, it means you've cracked the Viv code.
We have Ziyagu.
Airmons and Ziago, a green troll who is very against use of blood magic.
Blood magic? First I heard of it.
Oh,
And
you heard?
I'm Gashka McLeaver, known as the chieftain of the Iron Wolf clan. And joining us today is Eliza Day. So hello, Eliza.
Hello, praise be. I'm Eliza, and I'm playing a Forsaken.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn all about this Forsaken later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we will. And with the intros out the way, what is our topic of discussion today, Ella?
Well, since it is patch day with the new Undermine coming out today, I'm sure everyone's probably been playing through it a little too much. I was wondering, for the topic, should be, how do you think the Undermine will affect RP?
Yeah. Okay.
How do you think it will influence and change RP in
Do
the
you
coming
want
weeks?
us to do this spoiler-free, or should we say spoiler warning right now and tell people that if they don't want to hear about Undermine, they should skip to the next topic?
I would say spoiler warning.
Yeah,
Spoiler warning.
It's going to be a little spoiler warning here, and I will leave a timestamp if you want to skip ahead, but for however long this topic's going to take. So, the Undermine. I've learned recently, and this is something I didn't know about because I'm not that much into Goblin lore, despite how interesting it is. I've learned recently that the main settlement in the Undermine has always been there, and apparently it's older than Orgrimmar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I was surprised as well. I didn't realise that the Goblins had an underground city.
Goblins are quite old, I believe. So it's possible, I guess.
I've been told it is located geographically underneath Kazan.
Yes.
Is that rumor or fact?
Well, I believe that's correct as well. According from my research, I play a Goblin as well. There's a little town called Uptown on the Isle of Kazan, and that was one of the entrances
knew it.
of the Undermine. So jokes about Uptown girls and stuff like that are very, very Goblin.
I knew it. I was exploring Undermine just the other day, and there's a goblin you can talk to, and they say you're in downtown currently, and the drill that isn't working yet.
Yeah,
and I made a bet. I bet it's called Uptown.
I believe there's also in the train station one of the rockets that's not available at the moment. So that's really possible that one goes to the Undertown or something like that.
Yeah, that's the drill. Yeah.
Nice, yeah. So, how do you feel like will RPs be moving, especially the goblins, will be moving to RP around that area?
Oh, I would love that so much.
Yeah.
It's such an RPable area. It's so full of little nooks and crannies to RP in. And some people are already RPing there. I would love it to be like a neutral hub, kind of like Dalaran used to be, only grimier.
I can already imagine what it's going to be like in this settlement, judging from how goblins usually are.
Well, it's a real gold mine, to be honest. It's chaotic. It's lawless. It's great for roleplay opportunities for smugglers, criminals, and other role players like that. And I think it's great that it's also usable for everyone. Like Alliance and Horde can both join the goblins. And
I think it has market potential too. Like we, the diaspora of Dalaran, have been looking for a place to hold the neutral market, and we are currently in Dawn's Blossom, Pandaria. It's a place we love very much, but we are suffering through the sharding. If Blizzard can someday fix the sharding of this place, who knows? Maybe it has market potential.
Yeah, something like the scrap market. That would be quite cool.
Well, there are lots of little shops in there that we could actually man. We could actually put people into.
Yeah.
There and imagine Legion could have a real Pandaren takeaway restaurant there. There are clothing shops for TKs. There are areas with terraces and where the wandering lamppost can sell their drinks and their snacks. It's got so much potential.
Yes.
I hear also that there's a stage in the main area of the Undermine.
I did find something near the beach area. Is that the one you mean? Maybe there's
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I remember Kari talking about it. Our guest from last week, the boss of TK Studios. For those who don't know, very nice person.
There's also a golf course as well in the Undermine.
Of course,
So there's that as well.
I have to say though that the golf quest is super annoying.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I bet it is.
There must be a trick to it or something that I haven't figured out yet.
Well, what you do, Vivian, right? You find the person in charge, and then you pay that person to hire someone to play the golf game for you. You know, the
that's
goblin
the
way.
trick.
Yeah, that's the way.
Ah.
The true goblin way.
regular. Money talks for goblins.
I have a tip for RPers that go to Undermine. There are 2 RP items that you may really want to consider getting. One of them is a new desk toy. You can look it up on Wowhead somewhere. It is the desk in a box. That's what it's called. That's what you need to type.
Oh, that's
And yeah, you have to click on some books and some pieces of paper, and then you got it. It's actually very simple to get. And I think it's better than the Arathi book collection desk because your nose is not stuck in a book. And another tip is the supply chest, the Undermine supply chest. It is or was it crate? Undermine supply something. Anyway, it's a crate and you carry it around with you. You can sit on it, and there are several other toys inside that you can use, including a lantern, some dice or a chip. That one randomizes. And lots of other goodies.
I also heard there's a market shop that you can collect.
Exactly. That is for the Bilgewater rep. If you want the market stall, then choose Bilgewater, and when your rep is high enough, you'll be able to buy it. I am definitely saving up for that one.
There's also
me
a
too.
toy, I believe, that you can have a 6-pack of goblin beer on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got that one.
Is it beer
Cola.
or is it Kaja Cola? Yeah.
It's Gacha Cola.
Magicola, pardon me. Yeah.
Cooled ones, they are called, I believe.
Yes.
As,
Yeah, you can just pick it up somewhere.
But going back on to the topic of how it affects RP, I reckon it's definitely a place that presents a lot of opportunity.
Yes.
Goblins opportunity, usually go hand in hand, really, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, I think
One reason
one
why.
thing that can be a concern can be is the funniness about goblins.
Mhm.
Some people are really into jokes, and they don't like the stuff about the jokes goblins have. And I think that might be one of the struggles that Undermine can come with.
That's true, Goblin lore, but I hope we will have an in-depth topic about that sometime with someone who actually RPs a goblin. That is one of our wishes for the near future. But the goblins are at the moment a big string of memes, but there's also another layer to them.
Yes.
In fact, several layers. Every cartel could be considered a goblin layer. And I would love to explore that sometime with a goblin player.
They are a bit like Shrek.
I was going
Yes.
to add about. I imagine this city, being a goblin city, is going to have the cartels still, the Bilgewater, the Steam Weedle, and I bet that there's going to be RP there. That there's going to be involving gangs,
Yeah. Yep.
like the gangs of the
Not a
Undermine.
safe place.
I'm waiting for the street racing. I want to see some street racing
Yes,
How many crashes?
too fast, too goblin. Yeah.
RP.
It's
Well, there
definitely
are also good roleplay events to start the races there with
Yep.
new cars.
There's
Do you
so many
reckon
good
that
places.
someday we might get the car in the rest of Azeroth as well?
I don't know.
I reckon
Racing through the Barrens.
if it's
Maybe in
if it's a
some
popular
maybe in some
idea.
zones.
Sorry, Eliza, I spoke over you there.
Well, maybe in some zones they will change it when they revamp the entire world.
Oh, that's true.
I
yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. If it's a popular enough idea, then who knows?
Yeah, and it could make sense in some locations like the Thousand Needles when
Mhm.
it's
Ashara.
yeah, or Ashara indeed.
Oh, very, very goblin-y there.
Maybe Tanaris.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Tanaris. Because it's got a wide open area.
It's home to one of the cartels.
Steamweed
got
as well. Yeah.
a lot of
Yes.
Mad Max vibes, doesn't it? These
Oh, God,
cars in
yes.
Tanaris.
Indeed.
Oh my God, yes.
Drag
That'd be so
races around
funny.
the wound in Sidithus.
Can you imagine a goblin RPing as Humongous from Mad Max?
Yeah.
My God,
Yes.
that'd be hilarious. For people who don't know, Humongous is obviously a protagonist in Mad Max. He's this huge, bodybuilding, imposing looking guy with a ski mask on, and he gives that famous speech, "Just walk away." Very interesting film, Mad Max. Very over the top, yeah, but it's entertaining nonetheless.
Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it actually. Yeah,
Okay.
it's if there was any film that would represent how I would see goblins, it would be Mad Max.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I shall write it down.
Yes, but yeah, as it would affect RP, as we were talking about a minute ago. Going back onto that, I reckon.
Drifting away.
I know we keep doing that, don't we? I reckon there's going to be, well, with obviously shops that are going to be available, it's going to be a lot more companies set up. Goblin companies, cartel gangs, however you want to call them.
Mafias.
Racing, golfing tournaments. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a very interesting area, and as people keep saying, it's full of opportunities to expand on and do whatever you want to do.
It opens up a lot of jobs for characters as well. With each of the different cartels, they each provide something different. Like the Venture Co. are scavengers, are searchers. They look for stuff. You've got the Bilgewater are repairs, so mechanics and stuff. You've got Blackwater if you want to be pirates, and if you like science and messing with chemicals, you've got the Steam Weedle, yeah.
Or you can make something up. That's the fun of being a goblin.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
They're very
It's a great-
innovative people.
It's a great place for those that appreciate and enjoy goblin roleplay.
I remember we had goblin cartels running around Orgrimmar a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if they're still around. What were they called again? Was it the Gear Fist?
Gear Fist, yes.
And there was another one.
I can't quite remember
Well,
the
I
other
was
one.
part of the Gearsol Industries.
The what? Sorry, Eliza.
The Gearsol Industries.
Oh, okay.
That was one of that was part of since the Cataclysm. I believe it's still a small group, but they are still active.
Well, that's good. Well, that's good to know. I'm sure that's with the Undermine.
They're
they'll
mostly
become
in
more active again.
Bilgewater. They're mostly in Bilgewater in Ashara.
Ah, okay. So they're Bilgewater. Excuse me. They're Bilgewater goblins then.
Yes, indeed.
Nice. I was learning about the cartels the other day, and it's there's quite a lot to them. I didn't realise because I just thought they're just ordinary gangs that are out making money like most goblins tend to be, but apparently not. Apparently not.
I know someone who RPs a very special type of goblin, Jibaba.
Oh yeah.
She is a swamp goblin.
Oh, Gilbits.
Yeah,
really.
and then she lives in the swamp, and she is all the bayou this and the bayou that, and
nice.
making gumbo, and has a large frog mount and crocodile pets, and it's just she awesome. And whenever she's performing on karaoke, she's called Baba Yansei.
Oh,
Ah,
that's
Ah,
actually adorable.
nice.
I can't remember the name, but there is a goblin I've interacted with that roleplays a goblin that's haunted by the what's it called in
Uninvited guest.
yes, the uninvited guest.
It is the goblin quote-unquote curse of being a nice goblin.
Yes.
God, imagine that. You're compelled to be the bad guy because you're afraid of being haunted by a ghost.
Yeah. Yep.
What on
I'll
earth?
tell you some shocking rumor.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that Vivian was once in a relationship with a goblin?
Oh,
Oh my.
Oh,
Oh my.
oh
He was one
my.
of those nice goblins until he fell in love with Vivian's friend, and they wanted to get married and asked Vivian to be the bridesmaid.
That's
Oh.
nice.
oh.
Who?
Ah.
I feel your pain.
Oh dear. Goblins.
So with goblins, which cartels did you pick for your characters initially?
Good point.
Bilgewater, gotta go with the Hordies. Always gotta do Bilgewater first. They're the Horde ones.
Yeah, I agree.
That's Gaslow's crew, isn't it? Monty Gaslow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, I picked Steamweedle because of the green color schemes they have,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the whole potion thing. It
Noggin.
fits nicely with my character's
The noggin
own.
fodder.
Yes, Marin
Yes.
Noggenfogger. It fits nicely with my character's own interests.
The
I just
whole.
picked Bilgewater because I want the market stall toy. Those are my
Yeah,
only
me too.
reasons. What about you, Red Cleaver?
Personally, I had to go with the Bilgewater because I RP a goblin who's from the Bilgewater cartel. He's a quote fixer of problems. Basically, I based him on the Penguin from the Batman
Oh,
movie. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And yes, I have done that typical goblin thing of saying, "I'm walking here," as
Of
I'm
course.
walking through Orgrimmar, as one does.
We
Have
walk
you
with him
seen-
through the Undermine.
very good.
Have you seen the new Noggenfogger potions that make you slightly bigger or slightly smaller for 2 hours, and they stack up to 10 times?
Oh?
What?
I've seen people using them in screenshots, but I've not actually seen them myself.
Luckily, I haven't seen people abusing them yet, like people wanting to become ridiculously small or ridiculously large. But I have seen people wanting to use it to become slightly bigger or slightly smaller because that's the way they see their character. I think that's pretty cool. I've even
I'll let you
considered
do that.
using 1 or 2 for Vivian to make her slightly smaller, but then I realized I'm actually quite happy with the way she is.
Yeah,
I might make Shaggy slightly taller.
Well, it's always good for new ways to make yourself, your character, better in the way you look, of you like the way, how to say?
Customizing.
Yes,
your
indeed.
liking.
Try to customize it at your own personal liking. So I think it's
Yeah.
very creative when people do it like that.
He's meant to be about 8 foot tall when he's not hunched, so making him slightly taller or hunched, I think, could be good for him.
Well, now you know. You go to the Noggenfogger place and get a couple of those potions, and they last for 2 whole hours. So you're not stuck to drinking them every 20 minutes.
being a classic
Very
WoW
useful.
player, I remember the old school Noggenfogger elixir that turned into a skeleton.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of skeletons, however, I believe Eliza Day would like to discuss the Forsaken.
It's a bit racist calling undead skeletons.
Well, it was
What a nice bridge. What a
Yes.
nice bridge.
Really
You've
nice.
burnt it on the other side.
Speaking about skeletons.
Yeah, allow me to do a small introduction. You guys, listeners, we have Eliza Day with us, and we want to try something new. We've already practiced it a little bit just now with goblins, but we wanted to try some race-specific topics. So today, of course, I hope Eliza will tell us a bit about themselves and about their character. And we can talk a little bit about the Forgotten Shadows, and then we can geek out about Forsaken for a while. We are also looking to do this with other races. So if you think to yourselves, you know what, I make an excellent representative of the Volpera, reach out to us and we may do one about Volpera next. Same goes with any other race. But for now, Eliza Day, tell us, who are you and who are you in character?
Okay. Well, I play Eliza Day as a Forsaken. I've been a part of the roleplay community for quite a while now, since the vanilla's time I started to play. Mostly on Argent Dawn. I started as a Forsaken, where my passions lie, mostly because I love dark humor and the tragic backstories that you can play with as a Forsaken. I'm a great fan of urban legends, ghost stories, horror movies, and now I can play it for myself. So that's mostly a little bit about why I play a Forsaken.
As a fellow Forsaken player, I can only agree with everything you just said. One of the things that I love about Forsaken is that indeed they all have a tragic backstory. What all of them have in common, no matter how jolly or grimdark you choose to play them, they all died at some point.
Yes.
Eliza, can you tell us, what is the Forgotten Shadows?
Well, the Forgotten Shadows is like the main religion of the Forsaken of Lordaeron. Before they started as Forsaken, they were followers of the light, the church, embracers of the worshippers of the light. But when they turned into Undead, they found out that the light wasn't there anymore. They tried to worship it, tried to heal themselves, but they felt like they were forsaken. That's why they chose their name. And the priesthood found secret knowledge about the darkness and about shadows and how that could soothe their urges and help them. And that's how they started to make a new religion. And that's how the Forgotten Shadows became, one of the pillars of their
and it
society.
is currently now a community that you are running, yes?
Yes, well, it started a long time ago, many years when Legion started, when with the Order Halls as a project, a side project, but there were other Forsaken guilds as well. So I didn't make the community really big back then. And this year I started to make it bigger now that I got more time and stuff like that.
You have a Discord server. You occasionally create and host events.
Yes.
Do you have any plans for your community in the near future?
Well, it was one of the things we did in the past was we hosted sermons once per month. And during those sermons, everyone was welcome to learn about the ways of the shadows. It was always a little bit in secret, mostly in Brill or other dark places. And we hosted a little gathering where we did little stuff about faith, where we shared things about the mysteries of the shadow and stuff like that. And that's what we try to do again. So once per month, maybe twice, we try to host a public sermon somewhere and make people excited about Forsaken or shadow religion stuff and themes.
When people join your community, they don't necessarily have to leave their guilds for it, right?
No, everyone is welcome. because the shadow. Well, we want to tell everyone the truth. Everyone is welcome to hear that truth. So we don't really see why not people can join us.
Are there any restrictions at all? Anything you prefer to not have a part?
Not out of character.
Okay.
Maybe in character we don't like really like people who are light wielders, like paladins.
Damn.
But we make considerations if there are really good stories. We got some people who will play paladins, and we use them like oath breakers, who can have really nice backstories, or maybe spy on other light users or something like that.
Okay.
The time for the geeking has come.
So I see.
Kick it off with a question.
I was gonna quickly mention. So your community, like, it opposes the light, or do they just dislike it?
Well, it depends a little bit on who you talk to. We are a little bit of a chaotic group. So there's not really one way people follow. It's mostly like the most powerful priests are in charge, and they have little groups like followers, fanatics, and those start a church or a cult. So it depends on who they follow, and mostly people think we are mad because we follow shadows, we follow whispers. So it really depends on who you ask and who follows what whispers and stuff.
Well, I will. I'll try and make sure to have my character Ella avoid that area. Then he is quite a loyal light user.
Well, yeah, maybe that's safe.
Well, Ella, you could go undercover. You could just wear a dark cloak and call yourself Ella Shadowtress.
Oh my god.
And we also believe that people who follow the light can be turned. So and we believe in a balance and a discipline. So, and if you look to the light and you turn away, you see your own shadow maybe. So and you see that it's always been a part of you. So you don't have to be scared of the shadow. So it's all up to you.
I have an image now of a Forsaken going, "Come to the dark side. We have cookies."
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. We also have cookies. I can't really tell you the taste because my taste doesn't work anymore as a Forsaken. That's also one of the things I really enjoy about being a Forsaken is how people play being undead. So there are so many ways to be undead, and like one of the things I do is like I don't have taste, so I can't really tell you if the cookies are nice that we make.
Yeah.
Can your character at least swallow, though? Because mine can't anymore. She has to pretend to eat and pretend to drink.
Yeah, well, I can swallow, but I have holes in my stomach and in my body, so I will leak and drag a whole trail like a snail. So it will not be really nice. So I fake my foods. Mostly, I drink empty mugs, so I fake like I'm drinking when I'm in a tavern. My character also moves her body up and down, like all Forsaken characters do. But I play it like she fakes it around the living to be more adjust and looks more social.
Yeah, Viv does that too. She always tries to move a bit, even though she doesn't need to.
Yes,
she blinks. She blinks, but she doesn't even have any eyes. She sometimes huffs or puffs a breath. That's completely unnecessary. But she's just trying to be one of the gang, you know.
Yeah, I can relate.
I can also remember a time when Vivian was dropped in water and she was panicking as if she was going to drown. But then she was reminded, "Vivian, you're dead," and she's like, "Oh yeah." You know, it was quite funny.
I started.
Yeah, I've seen many Forsaken around Orgrimmar and other places, and they're, from my observation, it's either they're played as the super serious, like gothic types that are quite broody, or they're eccentric, and the eccentric types are incredibly funny to be around. I remember one specifically. You mentioned eating before. I remember seeing a Forsaken in Orgrimmar that had no meat on his rib cage. He was like Barbosa in the Pirates of the Caribbean. He ate something. He remembered he ate something, and then it dropped out from under his rib cage. It was
And then
quite
he
funny.
ate it again.
Yeah, he picked it up
That's
and ate
really
it again.
Forsaken. That's the fun about being a Forsaken, that
Yeah.
you can play with those dark humor things.
And
Here's one thing
started-
to think about. When a character in World of Warcraft dies, their soul is supposed to be passing on. You know, like in the case of an elf, they become a wisp. Sometimes they get whisked on to the afterlife, to the Shadowlands, to live happily ever after in a pretty ardent world among the pixies.
Vivian,
But when
we don't mention the Shadowlands.
Oh yeah, sorry. The afterlife that we won't mention. But with Forsaken, basically that soul gets grabbed and shoved back into their body or in any other available body. Does Eliza still have her own body?
Yes, I play with my own body. That's also one thing of the people of what Forsaken can decide for themselves, or the player can decide for their Forsaken, is how they would handle their undead bodies. Like I play with my own body still, but sometimes people play with other body parts, like they are body parts collectors, and like maybe an arm falls off during a fight and they need a new arm, so they go to a graveyard and find a new limb to put it on.
I guess
stuff
you could
like that.
say. I guess you could say they could visit an arms dealer.
Yes, yeah,
Get out.
but I play with my own body.
I'm trying not to make an inappropriate comment now.
No, I'm trying not
Sorry.
to.
I'm a
Vivian.
priest.
But
God,
yeah,
that makes it worse.
moving swiftly on. As you quite rightly said, it's quite interesting seeing how people RP their characters and how they've dealt with essentially being risen from the dead, and how they're living soon afterwards. Because I can't imagine living as a corpse is very easy.
Well,
No.
the thing that makes it hard for me, I don't know if you can agree on this, Eliza, is that almost everywhere you go, people start glaring at you and call you a rotter and start blaming you for Teldrassil and
Yes, yeah, that's really, but that's also a little bit of part of being the charm of being a Forsaken. You're always being part of being seen like a monster, and for me, it adds to the fantasy to be a Forsaken, to be an undead. So I try to use that and use it as fuel for my roleplay. But it also can sometimes be really like the same color. It's always more really gray or stuff like that. People don't really trust you when you walk around. Never.
That's
with
true. Yeah.
people doing that, with that happening all the time, it can also be a trigger for some Forsaken to try and turn it around. Like Vivian has this thing. She passes out badges to people who support Forsaken or who are undead that says
Oh, that's a good idea.
undead yes, unperson no, and that's a Terry Pratchett reference. And she does protests sometimes where Forsaken and Friends of the Forsaken can protest for undead equality, undead rights, that sort of thing.
Oh, that's great.
So hang on a minute. Vivian has stood in a crowd of other Forsaken with a picket sign saying
Yeah.
Forsaken rights now.
Something like that, yes, twice, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. First I've heard of it.
It's great.
Right, first we've had Moonkin rights, and now we've got Forsaken rights. What?
Forsaken rights. Yeah.
Well, we have free healthcare, so that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Forsaken health insurance. Have you lost a limb
Yes.
lately? Well, here's another one for you.
So that's a good thing for us.
This just tries to remind people that dead people are people too, and people tend to forget that. If
Oh
he just
dear.
wants to go home, just don't win.
Well, the only exception for this is mostly around Hallow's End, because Hallow's End is like the great Forsaken celebration day. It's the day when the Forsaken broke free, mostly for us players of the Horde. And that's kind of like the only moment when we are not being seen as monsters, but as entertainers.
Correct, and then it's cool to be dead.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah.
So I want to ask something then to you Forsakens. Is I've always been interested in trying out a Forsaken character because out of character I think they're one of the best races, Undead. But in RP it's always kind of hard for me to swap over as I've been used to playing light users that live for thousands of years. So is there any like suggestions and tips for moving from going from the light to someone who can't even touch the light?
Well, come join a sermon is one of my first advices. Just kidding. No, I just think, well, one of the things about now, the story about Xalatoth and the world and expansion of the War Within is a little bit like the flavors of being a Shadow Priest. So that goes a little bit back to the point of views that where the Forsaken also start with in their culture and beliefs. So if you like dark stuff that Xalatoth does, that's a good thing to delve deeper in. To
Also,
start in, I think.
jokes aside, if you just make your character and then go to these big events with other Forsaken, you can kind of get the feel of how to RP one, essentially.
Develop
Yes.
them then and there. Ah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
If I may give a tip from a Jolly Forsaken's point of view, if you make a Forsaken, I think one of the most important things to figure out for yourself is how they died and
Yes.
how they got resurrected, under which circumstances. If you have those two things figured out, then you can start thinking about, well, what about their past? What were they like before death? Do they still remember? Do they still have living family? And then we can think about, what are they going to do now? They've had a second chance. Do they want to keep fighting? Do they want to make a life for themselves? Do they want a farm? Do they want to follow the shadow?
Well, that's indeed one of the things to mention is that you have two lives. You have a past life and you have a life now. And one thing to mention about it is that the life you have now is not the same as the life you had before in the past. You're a dark mirror, a dark reflection of who you once was before.
As you say, that is very profound. But in Vivian's case, it's the other way around. Because when she was alive, she was a biatch. She was very mean and vain and pretty. And now she's dead. And now she's just a walking skeleton. And she's nice to everyone.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to play a Forsaken as well. To have a second chance of life, a new way, a point of view.
Undead and loving it.
I know what you mean with the
Well,
dark
indeed.
mirror, though, because even though Vivian is a jolly Forsaken, she's also a very tragic character. I think
Indeed.
that's yeah.
It's always something gloomy, something dark about being a Forsaken.
Agreed.
I also know a Forsaken who also embraces undeath because she was in life always a very sick person. She was bedlaying. And when she became undead and Forsaken, she suddenly became strong again. She wasn't. She was immune for sickness, and she could walk again and be the adventurer who she was always dreaming of, and the hero who she was reading in books. So that's a way to embrace undead and see it from another side. If it makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. As mentioned, Forsaken RP can be quite serious, and of course there are always those that make
we
Make it a
always
bit more
also have
lighthearted.
we also have a way of humor. It's not
Yes,
always
that's
dark and
No, no,
gloomy.
no,
We
no.
always
There's always
also have
humour as
humor.
well, because another
Yes.
Forsaken I came across once was one of those Forsaken who tried to make everything politically correct. So every time someone was calling him a rotter or dead, he goes, "Excuse me, I believe you mean living impaired."
Oh,
Yep.
that's great. I love those
Yep.
characters.
Oh, same.
Yeah,
I love those people.
Vivian is mortally challenged.
I am a sister of compassion.
Oh dear. But
Yeah.
hmm?
There is one more
Oh
thing
yes.
I think we should mention about Forsaken RP, and that is brain rot.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
brain
yes.
rot.
Not the kind everyone else knows. The
No.
literal brain rot.
Well, a good thing to start about brain rot is when you are starting a new character as a Forsaken, and you play and you start in Death Knell, you notice that there are some zombies around there. Some people say that those zombies, those are Forsaken with brain rot. So they aren't that lucky that they have been given the power of the unholiness that we are granted to make our spirits one again, whole again.
Yeah.
So that's one side of the brain rot stories, because we players don't experience that as ourselves, of course.
That's interesting then. So the zombies we see around Terrestrial, I think it's called Terrestrial Glades. Is that the area?
There is. Oh yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Well, that's the
No.
ones in Death Knell. If you are starting a new character and you walk outside the crypt, and the first NPCs you see, those are brain rot Forsaken. And mostly those are seen as people who are decayed too much and are not able to be spiritual resurrected again.
I think isn't the joke they were cooked in the ground too long?
What?
Possibly.
They were left in the oven for too long.
Yeah.
Like 100-year-old egg.
Oh.
Now, Forsaken lore is, of course, mostly Blizzard lore, what they gave us, but also a lot of headcanon. There are many people who RP Forsaken in a different way than somebody else. Like, for example, one Forsaken can eat and the other cannot. And regarding to brain rot, I follow this interesting theory that when the soul is shoved back into the body, technically it doesn't need the body anymore. It's just a vessel, just something so that people can see you. Otherwise, you're just an invisible ghost-like sphere. But technically, the soul does not need ears to hear. The soul does not need a nose to smell. And the soul does not need a pair of functioning brains to function. But it is so used to having lived with a brain all its life that it's convinced that when the brain starts withering away, it's supposed to become a little ditzy, a little stupid.
Indeed, but one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that there are several kinds of Forsaken and several kinds of being undead, like being a spiritual undead or one with flesh and bone. And I think those little things and those details can make your headcanon just float into the right direction in what you want to be. And I think that also counts for the Forsaken. I think we are a little bit of a blend of a spiritual undead and a zombie like for that undead.
Yeah, like you can't compare a ghoul to a new generation Forsaken.
Yes, and maybe you can best see it in one of the cinematics of Sylvanas, where she is resurrected and she's hovering above her own corpse when Arthas is resurrecting her, like in a moment of that.
Yeesh, imagine that.
Yeah.
Standing over your own corpses and being forced to being resurrected like that.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, tragic.
Tragic, yeah. Well,
I guess in a way that happened to all Forsaken, but in Viv's case, she does not remember. She just woke up one day and was like, "Why am I surrounded by Forsaken all of a sudden?"
Yeah, for me, it was also different.
What did I drink last night?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, wait a second, wasn't I on the battlefield a moment ago? Who are these people?
I play mostly around urban legends and ghost stories. So for me, it was my character is mostly designed around the ghost story of a song about from Nick Cave, where the wild roses grow. So I play around with mist and fog and confusionness and stuff, memories.
All sounds
I
very
do always
interesting.
get that song stuck in my head whenever I see your name.
Well, it's a good song.
It
It's
is.
how Eliza was born. Truly, I was fan of the song, and I dabbled a little bit with machinima, and I wanted to make a machinima about a ghost story. So I picked that one, and that's how Eliza Day was born.
Nice.
Yeah, really proud of it.
Yeah, you definitely do sound proud of it. So, Forsaken in general are, from what I gather, incredibly interesting characters. They're definitely worth trying out RP-wise.
Yeah, truly. I really would recommend everyone to try it once. Maybe with Hello What's the End, if you want to try it out. They are really, really great storytelling characters.
Yeah,
With interesting lore, and
Yes,
you can come
very
up with their
interesting lore, yeah.
background story yourself.
and if you need help with any of those, we are always happy to help out.
of course.
Indeed.
And any links or to information to help you find Eliza Day's community will be left in the description below.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Speaking of events, however, I believe it is now time for Vivian's calendar. Take it away,
Okay, let
Vivian.
me just move it to a different screen because my cat is currently blocking it.
Technical problems, people. Technical problems.
Furry problems. But she is asleep though, so I can safely read it out.
Oh.
All right. Thank you very much, Eliza.
You're
that was
welcome.
fun.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah. And now onwards to the calendar. Guys, about the calendar. Sometimes people add their events slightly later than when I can find them. So please, if you are walking around one day wondering what to do, you can't think of anything, please check argentarchives.org, the ADEU RP server, or the forums, because there might be stuff on there that I have missed. Any times mentioned in this calendar are always realm time, or also known as server time. And this calendar runs from Thursday the 6th of March to Friday the 14th. Here we go. Thursday the 6th. No major events are planned that I could find, but your favorite bars are open. Namely, the Moonlit Bar in Boulder Springs at 8 p.m. onwards, neutral. It is run by a group of very nice Volpera, and I can't wait to go there again, but usually my Thursdays are booked full. So please go there on my behalf, tell them I said hi. Little Pandaria will be open. They will be in the Broken Keel Tavern in Ratchet this time, also 8 p.m. Also neutral. 2 neutral bars, what a treat. We also have one Alliance bar, the Scarlet Raven Witch Hour in Darkshire Duskwood. That one starts a little bit later. It starts at 10 p.m. onwards. If you come in an attire fit for the theme, you can get a Witch Hour special. That is a mystery drink. The theme will change every month, and this month's theme is Early Blooms. We also have a shop that is open, the Smoke and Mirror shop in Silvermoon City. It opens at 8:30, hoard only. It has exotic imports and herbs and a free cup of tea or coffee. Moving on to Friday the 7th. Also a rather quiet day event-wise, but if you are Alliance, you could visit the Groggery at Pinky's Groggery in Boralis. It opens from 8 p.m. onwards, Alliance only. Little Pandaria is back. This time they will be in the Golden Keg in Stormwind from 8 p.m. onwards, also Alliance only. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything for the Horde on Friday the 7th, so I'll meet you in the Valley of Honor. Saturday the 8th, the Tasty Games Tavern will be open in Shathrath from 8 p.m. onwards, and they want you to know, the Dark Moon Fair is back. Come on round to the Tasty Games Tavern for a whole new Dark Moon special, with as much games and snack food as the Dark Moon Fair itself. It is a neutral event, so all are welcome. Tasty Games Tavern, Shathrath, 8 p.m. onwards on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Hamfist. You either love him or you hate him. Even Vivian has a love-hate relationship with him. Be that as it may, he's actually a quite skilled musician, and he'll have his first ever concert at the Doves this Saturday. You can find him in the Blue Recluse in Stormwind City, and the concert will start at 8:30. You do need to have musician installed for this one. Sunday the 9th, it's that time again. The Stormwind Market is open. Pop over to the Mage Quarter from 8 p.m. onwards to visit your favorite stalls. Maybe stick around for a mug or two at the Recluse or the Lamb afterwards. There's something to do for the Horde as well on Sunday. The Crossroads Gathering will be taking place again. From 8 p.m. onwards, you can wander on in and meet up with your Horde friends, or make some new ones, or try out your new Forsaken. Two bars will be open this Sunday as well, namely the Storm's Maiden Inn in Kiel Harbor Tavern, Gilneas, 8 p.m. onwards. I think the Storm Maiden's Inn is an Alliance-only bar. If this is not the case, please reach out to me, Storm Maidens, and let me know. The Dagger's Point Inn will also be open, and ideally it is in Gilneas, in the Barony of Thornic. But OOCly, you can find them at Rustburg Village in the Tolbarad Peninsula. And even though the Dagger's Point Inn is technically in Gilneas, it is a neutral event from 8 p.m. onwards. Monday the 10th, it's Pet Night at the Rose Inn in Stormglen Inn, Gilneas, from 8 p.m. onwards. The Gilneas denizens invite you to come over to the Stormglen Inn this Monday and bring your pet. You can tell the others about it and parade it around on the catwalk. Pet Pride! What do you say, Lizzie? Should we go? Okay, go back to sleep. Also, Pokishamon will be live on Monday the 10th. It is the Night of Remembrance in Darkspear Hold Echo Isles from 8 p.m. onwards. What they say about Pokisha is, celebrate your fallen in the traditional Darkspear fashion. Come and see how trolls see joy in this somber topic. There will be an opportunity to bring an offering to one of the Loa as well. Please check out their Argent Archive page for more information. Moving on to Tuesday, the 11th, there is a neutral gathering of like-minded individuals who will be discussing various topics related to the Void. Yes, the Assembly of Dusk is a monthly reoccurring gathering for any characters with interests in the Void. This means that if you're not a Shadow Priest, but your concept or interests is tied to the Void, you are most welcome to attend. Please note, the conclusion of the Undermined raid will not be acknowledged yet. It is in Lower City Shathrath, neutral, everyone's welcome, time 8 p.m. onwards. The Dalaran Fundraiser Trade Night will be up again in Dawn's Blossom Pandaria from 8 p.m. onwards as well. A neutral market, it's been around for many years. Come and get a nice pie from Twitch to Volpera, get a takeaway at Lee Jinx, buy some sexy lingerie or something way more practical like bags from the TK Studios, have a cup of tea at Suzaku's. The list goes on and on. If that is not your cup of Suzaku tea, go to the Darkshire Trade Night in Darkshire Duskwood instead. It opens up at 8 p.m. onwards, Alliance only. It would be fair to have a list like the previous market for this one as well, but unfortunately I've never been there because I'm always in Pandaria. So please head on over, say hi for me. And have an awesome night. On Wednesday the 12th, the Dove's Soup Kitchen will be open in Stormwind for those less fortunate, but I am sure they can spare you a cup of soup as well if you're a big soup fan. They always have plenty to go around. There are also free care packages that can be picked up for those in need. Pop over to the Blue Recluse this Wednesday from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. Sorry, not 2. 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. On Wednesdays, the Curious Octopus Bar is likely to be open again at Marinos Row in Borealis. They specialize in teaching new RPers the ropes. So if you are new and you want to learn how to RP or how add-ons work, or if you're experienced and you want to help our precious newbies, head on over from 8 p.m. onwards, Alliance only. Thursday, the 13th. I couldn't find anything for Thursday the 13th, so I'll just scooch over one more day to Friday the 14th. The Poetry Appreciation Society will be gathering at the top floor of the Dance Blossom Inn on the 14th. If you wish to share a poem, it is advised to use the add-on Storyteller, as it lets you dish out lyrics and poems one line at a time, so that you don't have to type everything or copy-paste everything line by line. Some poets like to use music, so having musician installed will immerse you even more. This time the gathering is neutral, as the location suggests, so head on over to the Dance Blossom Inn on Friday from 8 p.m. onwards. This is the calendar so far. Again, I may have missed a couple of things, so please check the sources that I mentioned before if you're not sure what to do, or if you're curious what else is out there. And that brings us to the shout-outs. Yeah, we have at least one shout-out from Jadis today. So I was wondering if one of you guys felt like reading it out. You can find it in the shout-outs channel in our server.
Zoagu, you wanna?
I can do. Shout outs.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Ziagu.
I've been here. What are we looking at? The first shout out, yes?
Yes,
we
the
got
short
shout-outs, yes.
one. It is said by Jadith about Zabia.
So Jada's shout out to Zabia is a massive thanks to Zabia for being a musical inspiration for us all, and especially me, being Jadith. Zabia is to the WoW music scene what Dr. Dre is to rap.
Very high praise there.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and well deserved.
Very well deserved, yes. And we also have one from Eliza Day, I believe.
Ooh, true. Yeah.
I shall read this out if that's okay with you guys. This is a shout out to a specific guild, a Forsaken themed RP guild focused on the occult and the dark mysteries of the shadow, spiritual exploration, and the forgotten faith of Lordaeron. We are bringing eerie sermons, occult gatherings, and a look for looking for members and officers of Unlife. So you're looking for Forsaken officers, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Eliza, yeah?
Yes. I've started this year with a new project to start to make it a community,
Mhm.
and all help is welcome. So I'm looking for strong people who are willing to help the Forsaken grow and make it a big society for the Argent Dawn again.
Yep. And Eliza also offers special thanks to the dedicated brothers, sisters, and siblings who keep the darkness thriving. The shadows, the shadows does not forget and will watch over you.
Indeed.
Indeed
Shadows
they
watch
will.
over you.
Shadows watch over all of you.
Does anyone else have any shout outs? Because I have one that's going to lead us right into funny stuff, so I would like to have that one last.
I don't believe so.
No, that's
Okay.
it? Okay. In that case, I'll let you know. I wanted to shout out Roaring Days. We are going to spend a little more attention to Roaring Days next time. It's coming up from the 21st to the 23rd of March. It is a music festival. Musician is definitely recommended because most of the music played is in musician. But I believe that in the last episode, I told you guys about the queue. There is a queue and it comes back every year. That is because at Roaring Days, it is a great big music festival and there's only one toilet. Yes,
Oh, no.
one outhouse. So every year a giant queue lines up outside of the outhouse, and we take screenshots and have fun with it. Everybody complains to poor Hardy about it. And so Hardy has decided to make a small documentary about it. And I will send the link to you later, Rashka. You can put it in the description if you like.
I will.
Because I think everyone should see it. The whole myth about the queue and why. And of course, I hope many people will come to Roaring Days when the time comes. More about that next time.
More about that next
That
time.
was my
Absolutely.
shout.
Tune in next time to hear more about that. And I believe now Vivian wants to go through our funny stories. We have several this time now.
Oh yeah. Let me have a look in my 7. There it is. I have a couple of new music titles.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
anyone like to read them out in a certain voice? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
She means
Looking
using
at
it,
Zoo.
Zuyagi.
I'm afraid I don't have it in me tonight. Sorry to disappoint.
Oh,
Oh, okay,
travesty.
okay.
Okay. Then.
Well, we can just take turns then in our normal voices. I'll start with the first one. It's in the staff room. The first one is "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme a Man After Midnight" by ABBA is now, thanks to Victoria the music bot, "Kidnap, Kidnap, Kidnap Your Gran After Midnight" by Faba.
Oh dear.
Oh my god. I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas is now I'm in Need Healing by the Black Striped Bees. Okay. Ella, do you want to read out the next one?
You can. I'll get it up now.
Okay, then I will. Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake is now Sexy Quack by Dustbin Trouser Snake. I don't know who came up with that one, but yeah. Okay.
Zoe, you want to do the next one?
Sure. Your Sex is on Fire by the Kings of Leon is now T-Rex on Fire by the Queens of Peon.
That's a good one.
We need a Queen of Peon for Baurg.
Technically, he had one at one point. Her name was Baurg.
Oh, that's true. She's still around.
I think so, from time to time.
Yeah. Okay, Ella, you want to do the next one?
I can't find it.
Oh, it's in the staff room.
This one will be fitting for Grashka, this next one.
Hang on, let me read this out quickly. What's this say? Oh, very funny. Okay, yeah, all right. Ella, it's all yours. You can read it.
Which one are we on?
Tearing Up My Heart.
Oh. So this one is "Tearing Up My Heart" by NSYNC is now "Really Need to Fart" by Ginseng.
I don't know what you're trying to say there, Zoo.
Really need to fart when
I have no idea.
with you.
I bet you don't.
And the last one is for our guest. Would you like to read the last one out, Eliza?
That's "Boom Boom Boom Boom" from the Venga Boys is now "Boom Shroom Shroom Shoom Doom" by the Goblin Boys.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
That's great.
Yeah. Right.
And for the funny bits, I wanted to tell you guys the tragic stories about Vivian's cooking. She has created a bunch of interesting cakes in her life with many wholesome ingredients, such as carrots, cheese, soap, beans, licorice, uncooked pasta, chocolate, cream, salt, whiskey, and cinnamon. That was a very spectacular cake of hers.
Oh.
She has created 2 more cakes. One of them had flour, eggs, milk, crayon, a dash of turpentine, licorice, pickles, a brick, chocolate chips, a bean, peppers, cinnamon, grass, soap, and candle wax. And the latter's probably accidental, it says. And it was Kari's birthday the other day. Happy belated birthday, darling. And Vivian created a beautiful birthday cake for Kari containing milk, eggies, flour, sugar, a cactus, butter, copper coins, dog biscuits, human biscuits, lots of little candles, an avocado, licorice again, gravel, eggplant, and a jar of salt. Like an entire jar of salt.
Wow.
Still
That's
in the jar. Yeah, it was just shoved in there. Yeah, and what I love most about Vivian's cocktails and cakes is how people react to them. Some of them, like Hamfist, shove it in their mouths instantly and become very sick and need healing.
I'm like Ella, just throw it in a bush.
Others try to convince Vivian that Draktyr shouldn't eat and dance at the same time as it could kill them. Some try to convince Vivian that they're pregnant, and sometimes they actually are pregnant and say, oh, I shouldn't eat certain ingredients. And the one standing next to the pregnant person said, and I am in solidarity with my pregnant friend here.
So it's funny. So because you can't eat or consume yourself anymore, right? But you're
This
still
counts, no.
but you still have your hobby to be a cook
Yeah.
for others.
Yeah.
Quite cook, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cook,
great.
cook is a big word, yeah. Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Mad scientist is more the quote I'd use, but yeah.
Ah,
People try to squirm themselves in all directions not to have to eat Vivian's concoctions and trying not to hurt her feelings. Sometimes they just go, hey, look over there, and Vivian turns around and they quickly throw their cake into the nearest plant. And
Yep.
Yep.
but that kind of reminds me a little bit of a funny bit about Forsaken humor and jokes. It's for example Brewfest, be, because Forsaken can still get drunk during Brewfest, or the players can. So how does alcohol really work for the Forsaken? Because does our heart still beat, or does it move through our bodies or some magical way? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's
do
all
we or
headcanon, yeah.
yeah, and do we consume something, or do we burp it out, or need to or can we still absorb nutrients and stuff like that? For me myself, I'm leaking all the time if I'm consuming something, so I drag a whole trail like a snail, and people can follow me like that.
And in Vivian's case, she has to pretend, but sometimes her imagination is so vivid that when she is pretending to drink alcohol, she actually believes it and thus fools her mind and actually becomes drunk.
Like a placebo.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes people distract her briefly and then she forgets that she's drunk. And then later on, she's like, oh, yeah, oh, wait. And then she instantly drunk again.
Yeah, that's great.
Sometimes it comes to a point where she believes she needs to throw up, but I mean, Vivian's wearing a mask. She can't swallow. She can't ingest anything, so nothing comes out, of course. But she pretends to be one of the guys.
Nice.
She'll always be one of us, Vivian. Don't worry about that. I have a rather funny story from the excuse me, from the Farseer of the Iron Wolf clan. If you bear with me just one moment, I'll try and read it out. Now, this one does mention a couple of character names. I'm not going to say any character names, just in case. But it's a short story involving the Farseer, Tsuyagu here, of course, who was involved in this as well. This involves one night in the Dranashar blockade where we came across a rather self-conscious and typical teenage troll, and who was also rather emotional at the time. And to quote Resh's post here, in a typical teenage fashion, this troll suddenly becomes very self-conscious, embarrassed after Tsuyagu turns her romantic interest down because for some reason she was suddenly interested in Tsuyagu, and of course Tsuyagu actually has a mate. This causes this teenage troll to start crying hysterically. The three of them try to console her, only to be met with a very teenagery, "This is so embarrassing, don't look at me." The three of them all without communicating to each other, silently and simultaneously turn 180 degrees away from looking at the crying troll teenager. Later on, if that wasn't funny enough, excuse me, the Farseer of the Iron Wolves is giving the troll, the troll, some advice about self-love, about loving yourself before you love other people. But unfortunately, this was misunderstood. The troll, self-love forbidden. Priestess said so. And Misha's like, not that kind of self-love.
Oh boy.
And yeah, what followed after that was a very awkward explanation of the differences between self-love and the other kind, if you catch my drift.
Yep.
It's a good one.
It was funny. And
I did notice the teenage troll, yeah. I'm very curious about her.
Yes. The same person, the Farseer, as I'm now going to refer to has also posted a, well, not really a funny story, it's more like a funny remark about Zoo being a follow of Shadra, who is a spider lover, and being ironically arachnophobic out of character.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I've always wondered.
Tragic.
I've always wondered this myself, because if you're an arachnophobic in real life, why on earth would you want to follow a spider lover in game? But
maybe
hey, to each their own.
to come over your trauma.
Maybe. And to be fair, Zoo has said that the spider mount that he uses is an exaggerated form of a spider. It doesn't look like a real one. I suppose that's how he gets, over the fact that he's riding a spider despite being arachnophobic.
It doesn't look very spidery.
No.
It's really fascinating.
It is interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Me being thalassophobic, fear of deep water and all that, I can't go anywhere near deep open water, because I start panicking a lot, and that's
Is that in game as well?
In game as well, because as some of you may recall, during the Battle for Azeroth times, the Warfront campaign for the Horde specifically involves, but there's one mission that involves going into the ocean.
Yes.
Deep
I recall.
into the ocean, where it's very dark and there's this massive red shark that's stalking you. That was hell.
So you
may I remind you guys, we are in the funny bits.
Yeah. There is a funny bit coming out of this, I promise you. Right?
Okay, go on.
There is a funny bit, because I was sitting there frozen underneath a boat wreckage. Then this I thought was kind person swam along, whispered me, asking, "Hey, do you need any help down here?" I said, "Yes, please. I'm hating this mission. Can you help me get it over with, please?" You guys, yeah, sure, I'll help you. Now, you're given a lantern for this mission, but you're only supposed to have it on a short burst of time. Otherwise, this huge shark will come and eat you, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you get a warning, like something is stalking you. Somebody can see your light or whatever, which is terrifying enough.
Oh, I recall that quest indeed.
Yeah, quite, yeah. And this person, I'm not sure if he was trolling me or not, but he didn't pay attention to these warnings. And suddenly I heard a sound behind me. I look behind me, and then I see this massive pair of jaws just come swimming up to me, and bang, dead. I hit the roof.
Oh.
And I said to the guy, "Thanks. I now need a new pair of shorts." And of course, he laughed at me.
Oh, it was funny for someone, at least.
Yes, I'm glad that my phobia amuses you. but
you couldn't play a troll that is a follower of Graal, then?
No, absolutely not. No.
How was Nashitar for you then?
I didn't go.
Oh.
because I noted that it was underwater, and I was like, nope, I'm not going for that again. I'm staying away. Oh dear. But to be fair to the guy though, he did apologise afterwards, and we've spoken to each other a couple of times after that. So no no hard feelings.
Okay, good.
Glad.
Although I haven't forgiven him for it yet. But yeah, that's my funny story.
Did anyone else have any funny stories to share?
Sadly, not this time around. I have got not many.
There is one. I don't know if you consider it funny, but it amused me.
Mm-hmm.
Just before the episode today, I was RPing briefly in the Janishar blockade when in the distance I saw a Tauren rogue appear suddenly. And there's the boar that wanders around by the blockade that, well, those in the clan at least have a habit of just killing the boar as they're going to and from. On this occasion, the Tauren rogue appeared, killed the boar, and then just disappeared again.
It's surprising. It's surprising how Tauren rogues work, because you wouldn't expect something so large to be so adept at disappearing. But lo and behold,
I love that they implemented Tauren rogues. I think
Yeah,
it's
they're true
awesome.
legends.
It's kind of menacing. Just suddenly this massive Tauren appears out of the thin air.
imagine a shark, Ella. Ugh. Yeah.
Maybe I should make one someday.
Hey, but it's always been a meme in the WoW community ever since Vanilla, if I recall.
Yes, yeah, true.
About,
There's even a
Tauren rogues.
Tauren joke about it.
Yeah, I recall something like that, but I'm not sure what it was about anymore.
Nah, it's a really old joke. I don't even.
Yeah,
I just know
it's
it was
been around
there.
since Vanilla days. So yeah, it's a very old joke. Yeah. Back in my day.
Snapper.
I can remember about half or to 3/4 of the joke.
Grashka,
Yes.
speaking of funny bits,
Mhm.
you had some peon quotes for us.
Ah, yes, I certainly do. I have a very funny Baurg quote, and one from a new member of our peon workforce, Tikkuk, as his name is. But first of all, however, I shall read out the Baurg quote. Baurg, as some may know by now, is our beloved peon overseer. And the clan adopted him after seeing him wandering around aimlessly, and he's been a part of us ever since. And he's famous for being happy, confused, and coming up with these very random but very funny lines just completely out of the blue. A line such as this one. Lift big thing. Smash. Lift more big thing. Big muscle. Big brain grow large.
So if you lift things, according to Varg logic, you don't only become stronger, but also smarter.
I mean, he's not wrong. And then his new member of the workforce, Tikkuk, came along and then said, "Me no care about women. Women make work harder."
As a woman, I can confirm this.
Yes, quite. I'm obviously not, so I'm not going to comment on that. But as always, however, if anyone has any RP funny moments or stories they would like to share with us, they are more than welcome to share them on our Discord server. Via our Discord server. Links will be in the description below, as they generally are.
Yeah, come join us. Be part of the team.
Yeah.
And remember, we are still looking for people who wish to represent their race.
Yes.
If you are the ultimate Tauren rogue, then come and reach out to us.
From a Tauren rogue to a goblin to
To a
an orc
gnome.
savage, to an elf
Maybe we should.
noble.
Maybe we should. We should invite Hamfist to represent the gnomes.
Oh,
Boy.
Yeah. Actually, I think to represent the gnomes, maybe I could ask Bertel.
Yeah, absolutely. We
They're
need a
very important gnome.
We need a representative of each race from either faction. So if anyone knows anyone,
Yeah.
get them to join our Discord server. Once again, the link will be in our in the YouTube description. Words, I do know them.
Description. You got it.
Yes, description.
It's okay.
I do wear glasses for a reason. Otherwise, if there's nothing else that anyone wants to add,
Well, just about the next episode.
ah yes,
The next episode, we will be joined by Haiku and Kari. We will be talking about April Fools, the fireside gathering, music stuffs, and well, lots of stuff. Honestly, the conversation might go anywhere, so just come and enjoy the chaos.
as is generally the case in this podcast, it's organised chaos, as I've come to call it.
That is true.
Well, if there's nothing else that needs to be said, Vivian,
Some people were hoping and expecting Achilles and Aranik today, as we promised last time, but we had some scheduling issues, and they will join us next month.
Ah, yes. Something to look
That's
forward
why I'm
to.
here.
That's and of course, Eliza Day has more than made up for it.
Oh, absolutely! I was very happy that Eliza was flexible enough to join us today,
Absolutely.
and I had a really fun talk.
Well, you're very welcome. I really enjoyed the talk as well, and thank you all as well for this wonderful time.
And
Praise be.
praise be the
And the shadows
Forsaken.
watch over you.
Yes, Shadow's Guide.
Yes, shadows watch over you.
And hashtag
Oh,
Forsaken
light be
rights.
with you. Light be with you.
Now, Ella. Now. We have a Forsaken guest here. Come on.
It's okay.
And remember, kids, lift heavy things for big muscle and big brain.
Yes. And as always, everyone, thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you like our content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we are also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And all that's left now to say is thank you to our guest once again. Eliza, thank you for coming along.
Thank you as well. It was a pleasure.
And thank you guys for coming along and making yet another fun episode. That's you guys, by the way, Zoo, Viv, and Ella.
Oh,
As always, always nice.
by the way, I want a raise. Okay.
Yeah.
You're getting paid.
You're getting paid? What? Anyway, all I have to say now is thank you once again for listening, and we shall see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Hope you-
Okay. Forsaken say, watch your back.
Watch your back.